Hey, how's it going? Hey, Smurfs, how you doing, dude? Sorry it's too late for you.
Hi.
Hey.
Everything went smooth. I became co-host, no problem.
Yeah, it's rare.
Yep.
Rare things work out.
So gonna be starting in a few minutes. Let's wait for a few more people to join, and yeah, for our guests as well. So how you doing, Josh?
Doing pretty good. Just working through common frustrations that, as builders, we all have from time to time.
A common frustration, which clearly calls, I really really hate Unity. It's a love
Yeah.
and hate relationship.
Yeah, I hate crunch compress, and that's my enemy at the current moment.
No, I feel like I really hate Unity in general, and I've seen some people on Discord. You go to random Discord, and there's like status of the people. I really hate Unity. I mean, we all share the common passion for it.
Common passion, common hate. It's a love hate, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Unity is like the best thing that I can do throughout the day. It's so therapeutic. I sit in front of my PC. I do some things in Unity. I stand up and it's deep night already or something like this. You know, where did the time go?
Yeah, it's sort of a black hole in that aspect, black hole of time.
There's a black hole which is sucking in your time and your entire existence. In fact.
Hey, Smurs, how you doing, buddy?
Hey guys, yeah, I'm good, I'm good. Yeah, for me it's night. I think I can be here like 10 minutes, but it's okay.
Do you also really hate Unity?
Sure. I hate Unity.
Yeah, here we all share a common passion. That is true. And that is our main topic, and probably gonna be unity. So here's our guest, Presby. How you doing, Presby? Finally, we'll be able to talk to you. Here's our guest. How you doing, Presby? Finally, we'll be able to talk to you.
Hey, Cyber Nerd Baby. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone.
So how are you
Hello,
doing
hello.
today?
Good. How are you guys?
Well, it's early morning for me, 7 a.m. That's the first thing I do in the morning is talk to Josh and to you guys.
Ooh, 7 a.m. Oh, my goodness. Well, appreciate you hosting it, especially at this time.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, and we're excited to learn more about your and Harl's journey here, and it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, so the topic today is going to be really, really interesting and exciting. Well, for us at least, because of like we made a notes on some topics that we would like to talk, and like the brief list of it is like we want to talk about something that we are calling now how high-end metaverse. You know, like the the metaverse, which is completely free to play, but people throwing thousands of dollars at it, you know, upgrading their gear and doing all kind of stuff. And yeah, I would like to talk about something about the virtual nightclubs, something we always knew existed, but really started discovering only recently because we just started going there. I'd say, and it's absolutely incredible experience. And one of the main topics today is building a cross-platform with Unity. So hashtag made with Unity is always our main topic, I guess, here. And today we have a real builder who actually building cross-platform. She's literally built the same space in VR chat and in spatial, and it's going to be really interesting to discuss. And also, I heard you play Horizon Worlds, right, Presby?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. And my world in Horizon Worlds, I started there, and it's kind of similar to my backyard theater in terms of like the nighttime camp scenes. So it's kind of interesting, just the evolution of building, I guess. So I definitely am excited to share that with you guys.
So, what about Harley? How are you doing, Harley Mac?
Yo, what's up, everybody?
So you are also building a cross-platform on several of them, right?
Yeah, same thing. VR chat, spatial, and Horizon.
So the main question I always have: why do you chose these three platforms to build?
Well, Horizon was first because my intro into the metaverse was with the Quest, and that's like their native app or whatever. So that was the first thing I went into, and they have it where you can actually build inside of the platform. So it kind of was a good start on just like kind of getting the fundamentals of kind of 3D modeling, and then yeah, like way later, we kind of got into VR chat, and then spatial dropped the SDK. So then we just went straight over to spatial, like immediately.
Is there something you like more or less about each platform? Or like, can you evaluate like why do you go here or why do you go there? How do you take this kind of decisions when you feel like, oh, I want to build a world? So what's the first thing that comes to mind? Where do you go to build the world, and why do you go to build this world in that particular platform?
Hmm. Honestly, I hate to say it. I actually think to build for spatial first because there seems like there's like a smoothness when building in Unity, but I'm kind of always thinking for VR chat because there's just so much more you can do. Like just simple, like you can grab stuff. It just makes a whole difference in like the possibilities. So I always kind of think VR chat ultimately, and then kind of scale down to figure out what I can make work in Unity or in spatial.
If you want to build same world in Horizons, you have to start absolutely from scratch, right? You can't just like, if you're using Unity, you can basically like port your project from a VR chat to spatial, doing some adjustments and vice versa. But like
Yeah,
Horizons, it's all enclosed. Isn't that like challenging?
it's well, I mean, I don't really know how to put it. It's got its challenges. I think if you started in Unity and then go to Horizon, kind of the same with with everything. With Horizon being my first thing, it's a lot less challenging because it kind of more like a game, or kind of like you're in it, you're immersed in it. You can just grab objects and move them around as opposed to clicking and trying to turn around and get angles and stuff like that. Um, so it's not necessarily more challenging, but the fact that you can't take something from Horizon and put it anywhere, it kind of sucks. It definitely sucks.
So you and Presby, you guys build together in Horizons, like literally real time together building.
Not necessarily. We learn together, but we're usually building something totally different from each other. Just kind of teaching each other things. Like she might be building something totally different, but learning something that I can use, and vice versa. So we're kind of able
So
to cover a lot of grounds.
I see. So, Presby, Harley, let me ask you this. Is it also true that discovering VR chat and going around and making friends and building made you also invest heavily into this platform in terms of like gear and equipment? You know what I mean, right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean.
yeah, no, for sure,
Most definitely.
for sure.
I mean, what is it about? Like the last several times we were talking about, like, oh, maybe spatial need to scale down because some people are unable to access it. Maybe we need to make like a voice version of it so people can attend events when they cannot like really load any of it of their PC or mobile. And here we have another platform which is so demanding in terms of GPU, so you can't really, sometimes you can't really just, oh, I want to go and check out VR chat and like, oh my god, no, I can't, my PC is totally not ready for VR, I don't have VR headset, and oh my
Right.
god, I have Mac. So what is this about this platform that actually changes people mind so much they start throwing money at it, I mean, endlessly?
You want to go? Yeah, go ahead.
Um, Goodness, where do I start? I know for me personally, I love audio visual effects and the ability to go into worlds and be completely immersed in experiences that I would have to pay like $500 to go to a concert in like Las Vegas or something to be a part of. That for me was a huge selling point. So I figured, I'll invest a little bit into a decent computer, some decent RAM, and yeah, just the more you explore VR chat, there are just so many different worlds and experiences. You'll learn that you'll like things that you didn't even know that you liked. So it's very rewarding. But again, it's not an easy investment. But if you're into experiencing things, I'd say it's definitely worth looking into.
Well,
Yep.
Harley, you have full body tracking as well, right? And you bought it
Yeah.
because of VR chat, right?
Yes. That's the only reason. And I bought more.
You bought more?
Yeah, I
What
bought
more of
more
what?
trackers just to like.
You bought more trackers, so it's more smooth. It is more smooth.
Yeah, yeah. But I'll tell
So
you this though, it's actually overrated, to be honest. There's not much of a difference. I might even return them because there's not, you're fine with just the 2 feet in the hips.
well, what is? I mean, despite of the fact that many people kind of they don't like VR chat, they go there, they feel lost and like, oh, it's not Web3, or people harassing me, or there's so many keys and like and so on and so forth. At some point, people start discovering some insane kind of value which makes their priorities change, and instead of buying, I don't know, a barbecue set, they just go and buy new GPU. And like real life
Hmm.
examples are so many. I mean, I have my friends, we started like 2 years ago together on Quest, and like, dude, once I hooked up my Quest to PC, it was entirely different experience,
Oh
and that
man.
and then the whole upgrade process just started. I mean, I remember 2 years ago, me and Space Joe, we were doing augmented reality, and I was like, okay, I'm not doing any heavy renders in Blender. Why do I need like powerful GPU? It's not really demanding at all. And then suddenly you discover VR chat, and like your whole game is changing. Your whole
Yep.
mindset is changing. You want to be there with the best experience possible, and like, what is that other platforms they try to scale down and bring user and make themselves available, and at the same time VR chat is becoming more and more
More
demanding day
popular.
by day,
Yep.
and more users joining. I mean, that's just amazing. to look at.
It's the most realistic experience, I think. Like you can literally do anything. And every time you go in there, you learn something new that you can do that's like, oh shit. Like it's just it's endless. And I think investing in that, I mean, because we're all in VR, we're all doing this to escape something. And it's just like you can all the way curate your escape. And it doesn't cost a whole lot, because once you're set up, once you're good, you don't have to have full body tracking, or like, you know what I mean. But once you're set up, it's just like you can do anything you want. You can go fly a jet or chill on the beach or whatever, and just be at home. Like, it's awesome, and it feels real
Well, one
and
one
looks
thing I
real.
noticed their chat is really thinking about those users. I mean, you can say that most users in VR chat are Quest users, right? That's just like the easiest entry to this platform is just like putting on Quest.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
So, but at the same time, VRChat seems to be heavily investing into users who actually have full body tracking and invested in the platform financially this way. So, like recently, they rolled out a new update. I don't know, guys, if you check that out. It's IK beta.
Oh
So,
yeah. What is it?
Yeah.
What
if
is what does
you
that do?
if you change some settings, if you like roll yourself into this beta, install it on Steam, I think, or just check it on Steam. I don't remember.
I think I
And
have
you
the
put
beta version. It's like a whole separate app, right?
no, it's not separate app. It's just if you go
Oh shit.
on Steam and you check that,
Yeah.
check yourself into this beta, your body tracking becomes super smooth. It's not jittery anymore. And even if your
Mm.
trackers, they kind of shake on your body when you move, right? Like a little bit, and it causes this jitterness and kind of ruins the immersive experience.
Yeah.
Right now, it's not like this at all. I mean, it's super smooth. It kind of took this jittery part under control. So VR chat actually thinking about those people who are really investing themselves into platform, and they pay attention to the fact that a lot of content creators, they do their content in VR chat and they use
Hmm.
full body, and that's probably their face, that's probably how they come to TikTok, they come to YouTube, that's how people see them. So they are investing to improve experiences of those content creators, of the dancers, because dancers are one of the,
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing in there.
yeah, it's like the biggest thing in there. Yeah, that's true.
And
So
to your point, even on the other side with Quest, they just made it so that they can use, or they can see the video URLs like YouTube and stuff. They used to couldn't do that. So even on that side, they're listening, or they're really paying attention to the community and what is actually being asked for. You know what I mean?
So what, like one more thing, you can there was new update where you can actually watch YouTube videos on Quest now without problem inside VR chat.
Hmm.
Yeah, without a URL resolver,
Yep.
which is awesome because then again, there's a unified experience between Quest and PC users. Because it's no fun to be in a session with PC users and your Quest friends can't see. That's not fun. The point is to bring everyone together and promote community. So it's pretty cool how they're acknowledging that.
Yep.
So have you guys been to virtual clubs? Did you do some virtual clubbing?
Not yet, but looking at your videos, girl, you got
Yeah, we
me
need to.
inspired.
We need to.
Well, it is fire. Josh is here. He might share. I mean, he might share his
Josh.
experience as well of going first time to virtual club. How did you feel, Josh? Tell us.
Yo, it's pretty dope. It definitely takes some getting used to, and some of the avatars, like the guy that was showing them off last week. It stinks. are just so advanced. I mean, it's literally mind-boggling. Some of the features that some of these avatars are packed in, and that's kind of one of the things that I wanted to ask you guys about. I noticed you said you started in VR chat first, and I noticed that your avatars are the same in VR chat and spatial. So, what is kind of your thoughts on that and your flow? Do you start with an FBX, and how are you getting that VRM and being the same in both spatial and in VR chat?
There's a plugin for Blender called Cats that it's very helpful for VR chat avatars, but they have this smart decimation that along, I can't remember what the other thing is called, but they have these tools that are kind of work together that not only combine your materials but decimate your avatar down without like fucking up how it looks. I mean, there's a little bit of you lose a little bit of quality, but it's not as bad as actually decimating, and it gets your polys down so that you can upload it to spatial under
Well,
their
by the way,
under their terms.
a little tip here to you guys: if you're decimating your avatars for spatial, and you use the decimate modifier simply, it ruins your textures, right? But there is a setting there in
Mm,
the modifier. If you check UVs, it's going to be preserving your UVs at the same time. So no matter how you decimate
okay,
it, it will try to preserve your UVs. So
nice.
just look for it. Just look for it. It's there.
Yeah, I've seen that and I've never checked it. That's good to know. Because yeah, that Cats plugin has like this smart decimator that works pretty well, but it's definitely more steps. So like I appreciate that. Yeah.
Did you guys make your own avatars, like from scratch?
Not like from scratch. We got a base and then yeah, from there at that point.
Yeah, we Frankensteined it. We kind of got a head, got a base, and it's cool with VR chat. The community of creators is just humongous. You can find avatars, outfits on Gumroad, Booth, and you'll notice that a lot of the outfits cater to certain bases and heads. So, pro tip, if you're ever looking to make avatars and kind of want to start off slow, it's always nice to kind of look at the avatars that are out there and see the credits, see what head they're using, and see what body, and just kind of go from there. And that's what we did, and just kind of pieced things together. Started with the base, got some hairs, got some tattoos, played around with some emissions. And yeah, again, the capabilities, at least with VR chat, you're able to have toggle menus. So, you can have attachments for your avatar. They can have outfits and you can switch them at will. You can add dances, you can add poses and control all that right from the headset, right from your menu. It makes it very convenient and it really aids the creativity. Like Josh was saying, the avatars are so advanced and you can really load them with anything your mind thinks of.
My avatar has a car in it.
There
I
you
have a
go.
car. I have a
There you
car in
go.
my avatar, and I also have a electric bow. I can literally shoot at people. It also has its own game. I mean, if I start the game, I can bring out my bow and I can shoot targets on time, and it's synchronized between all users, so they all can see what I'm doing.
It's crazy. Man, my boy has Beat Saber on, like he just whips out Beat Saber. It's crazy. It's like he's over there playing Beat Saber. Like how I don't know how, but there he is.
Yeah, we
Yep.
saw a video the other day. Cyber Nerd Baby posted it where a dude was in a space in VR chat, and it was kind of a Warhammer 40K or whatever, and he completely rezzed all of his spaceships and destroyed the space that he was in. Like completely, like had these spaceships destroy the planet. Um,
Or like,
You know?
yeah, like we like looking forward when on spatial we will be able to bring our like prefabs, scripted prefabs to other spaces and show some really cool stuff to other people. Spatial said that due to safety issues we can't do that right now because you can script something that other people might not like, and at the same time you have this VR chat avatar, which it's an emperor from the Warhammer 40k, and it has a feature when it can bring on the world his entire fleet. I mean, you look at it and it's like hundreds of spaceships. I don't know how guy was able to pull that off. So there are hundreds of spaceships, and the emperor saying that it's going to be taking down this world and like punishing everyone, and the spaceships start like releasing missiles, and it's literally blowing up I mean, any space it goes, it can do the same thing, and the whole space, the whole world is on fire, it's burning, and all avatars around you is on fire, and it all becomes like an kind of ashes around. I don't know where is this avatar right now. I think it has been blocked for this reason.
Probably.
Yeah, I think in the latest update, they're trying to limit avatars that can take over people's screens like that to try to, make sure everyone has a good experience. I could see that avatar being
Yeah.
blocked.
Yeah, there's some wild shit.
Well, it's really annoying when somebody putting a canvas screen on your VR headset and it displays some nonsense, some
Yeah.
meme nonsense kind of thing. Yeah, this kind of functions probably have to be limited, but maybe spatial should not be limiting it so much, so we still
I
can
don't think so.
show people like our cool stuff,
Yeah, I think it's too early for them to be trying to, or a lot of the stuff that they're worried about are the reasons that they say that we can't do certain things right now. I think it's too early.
So Presby, you have space, which is I went to your space in the art chat. Of course, I went to your space in spatial. So is it the same Unity project you're using, which you can easily publish here and there? Like, can you tell us your experience with this?
I know. I wish it was. I wish it was. But VR chat and spatial, they use different render pipelines. So half of my shaders don't work. So it was an interesting process, and I learned a lot, but I practically just rebuilt it. I used the same assets, but I rebuilt everything, tried to get it to the same likeness. But once I started using the different shaders, I started really seeing what I could do with the materials and really pushing the limits in terms of realism and lighting. And so it was cool to use the different shaders, a bit of a pain in the butt, but yeah, different Unity projects, totally different assets. Like it's cool that you've been to both worlds, so you can speak to the differences, because there are so many elements that are the same. Like the popcorn's there, the beds are there, but in VR chat, you can grab the popcorn, you can walk around with it. I have a video
You
player
can
that
put it into
anyone
other
can
person's
control.
face, the popcorn.
Exactly. You could throw it at them. You're free to do with these pickup objects what you want. There's a video player that anyone can control. So I'm not the only one screen sharing, or I don't have to designate a host to screen share. There's a paint canvas where you could literally grab the paintbrush and dip the paintbrush into different swatches and paint on
That
the
shit is
canvas.
awesome.
And there are dynamic bones in the paintbrush, so you see the movement of the brush. There are just little intricacies, little details that I can get in VR chat that I just wasn't able to achieve yet in spatial, not yet. So it's just been interesting.
Well, do you use spatial in VR?
I do not, especially since I started in VR. I hate to say it, but the spatial VR experience, it just isn't there yet. And it's just not a good experience. So I mostly use the
It
web.
sucks. It's the worst.
Yeah, let's make spatial hear it. We really people really getting into VR. Like recently, Roblox got into VR.
Right.
Roblox got into VR. So
Yeah.
It doesn't
VR
seem like they
mass
care, to be
adoption is
honest.
happening.
It doesn't seem like they care. It seems like they just want to make website games and keep it moving.
Uh, Essentially, spatial kind of stated that they're going after the Roblox, and there's not much of VR users in spatial. Yeah, that's true, but the fact that Roblox actually going after VR right now might change their mind, and I really wish to see that Spatial pays more attention to their VR app
Yeah,
on Oculus Store, because they don't have much of competition in terms of
at
social
all.
platforms. It's so
At all.
easy right now because there's like 5 of them or even 4 of them on Oculus Store. Am I right?
I would, you know
Right.
more than I do.
And with alt space closing, there's even fewer now.
Yep.
So the time is now.
And I'll be honest, there's so many people that are from Horizon that we can't get to go over to VR chat, but we got them to come to Spatial, and it was a very bad impression. So like, there are people that are like, "Yo, this would be awesome if like it was like put together well," or just there's a lot of people that are kind of. I mean, I don't know. We were kind of advocating for it because we had our issues with Horizon, mainly the graphics, obviously what it looks like, but when we went over to Spatial, people were like, "Yo, let's go check this out," and nobody came back.
Yeah, they definitely need to improve their VR experience. I'm 100% sure, because I mean VR is the future. AR VR is the future.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure about that. So they got to pay more attention to their VR app, and it's gonna be amazing if we can have same level of experiences as the ones we have on web, like on WebGL. If we can
Man,
just have same level of experiences on VR app, it's going to be incredible. I mean, more people will start coming. You will not have to worry about the fact that not much of people using VR for spatial. They will be coming because
yeah,
of
they'll
the
come.
level of experience.
Yeah,
Um,
and the way it
make
looks, the way it's presented is so awesome, but the experience is just it's just not there.
make you want to say
Hey,
something?
hey, Metaverse
Join our
builders
conversation.
and dreamers, and some of my favorite people. CC, my sis, my Metaverse Monday partner, Josh, my guy. Great to catch you all again. I got a bunch of thoughts on the topic actually. Starting with my real Metaverse experience was Altspace VR. That's where I had my space that I loved, where I had my events, where I built my initial community. Very sad to see it go. Um, every platform's got a different tool base and a different use case and a different group of people, right? Um, if you think about like the progression of where spatial was, they're more based to get people on first mobile, right? Which decreases the level of polys we could use in certain aspects of your avatar, things like that. And the last part is for VR, because the reality is a lot of people don't have access to headsets, and a lot of people don't have computers really that they actively go on, right? So they built more for the iPad slash um, mobile platforms first, and it is the third choice. I think everyone has its dominance. And, for me, who absolutely loved Altspace, I didn't really feel comfortable in VR chat personally. And I came across some weird stuff the first times I would go in, and I was like, I don't know if this is where I want my user base. I got 2 kids that might wander into this stuff. So,
Hmm.
there are pros and cons with each space that you go into. Like right now, I'm in a space for somebody's birthday in Decentraland, and I'm only using a chat box and talking to my friends, wishing them a happy birthday. Every platform is built for a use case and for people who want to adopt it, you know? So I just think we remember then, and then they opened it up to Unity, right? Which is why that extension comes out here right now. Um, it's up to the builders, and it's up to the builders to work with the parameters of what's available. And I think we're still seeing that most of the builders coming into this new experience are not finishing for VR. And where I push back on it, I really want to bring my headset and my reality back in. I do, as much as it sounds great, and the land of milk and honey in VR chat. I have my holdups with it to go and really build a community there where I feel like some of it's off kilter on the other side. Does that make sense?
It does make perfect sense, and you're absolutely right. But as always, I would refer to facts because here we, like all of us, have our favorite platforms, and for someone it might be Horizon World as much as we
Sure.
don't
No,
understand
I
why
hear
it's
you,
done the way it's done.
but when we're
But
chatting
I really
about conversationally, right, about what sucks, what doesn't suck, I think we always have to remember when it comes to each platform. I mean, these aren't billion-dollar companies like Microsoft or whatever. They're companies that relying on builders and people with that will experience, and then going to a computer and then VR. It changes the parameters of what's possible, right? So I just keep it in mind. I'm a metaverse maxi. I'll go anywhere. I got love for y'all. I just think keeping perspective of the goals of the teams involved and how they grow is important. Anyway, big love.
That makes sense. That makes sense. My only
thank
thing,
you so much. And what does also make sense is numbers, and numbers don't lie. So we're looking at phenomena here, a various one, and the thing that I started the space with the question why people start investing into this particular platform so much. It is still there, this question, and
yeah,
numbers don't lie. Somewhat the most difficult to access metaverse and the most scary one, I'd say, for many people, yeah, as you said, you have kids and stuff, yeah, actually have the most numbers, and it's growing day by day. It's insane. It's 75K concurrent users at its peak already. So yeah, just I it's not like we're making favorites here, but just like to look at phenomena.
yeah.
No,
But
I
I'll say
couldn't
I'll
agree
say this.
more. I couldn't agree more. I just think it's important, when we're talking about these experiences to also think about the overall platforms thing. It's like, what's the one that's it's not Roblox, it's like voxels, right? Voxels is meant for an even lower genre to get more people on who can have the experience. Now it's amazing that the congregation of VR users have settled on VR chat. I'm really excited to go put my time back in there. I go all over the place, at least 5 of them, right here or there. But I think each time we go into one of these, we should go in with eyes and ears and minds that says, what were the team's goals and what are the goals of the people building?
I couldn't agree more with that. Yeah, you should look at your goals and at what you're trying to accomplish. Then you probably choose the platform, right? So, Presby,
Yeah.
you build your theater in spatial. So, what was your goal?
Right. And my goal was to play media, and thankfully Spatial had the tools for me to do that. And that played a huge decision in prioritizing Spatial at the time. And again, kind of keeping in mind what Spatial's goals are, what developmentally, what they provide for us builders to do, that it's a tug of war. It's a give or take.
I don't think any of the other apps have, like we said, Roblox just came to VR. Roblox didn't have a VR app until they were ready to come to VR, nor were they promising uh, to make it a better experience or Like spatial is the only, I think, platform that promises things and puts out the idea of all of these things and then literally reroutes and then says that it's not a priority and then tries to hype us up on the priority that they are on to make us forget that like we still can't grab stuff. So that's, I think with spatial it's just different because they have a virtual reality app on the Quest Store. They do updates. They let us know about these updates, but they're not really doing anything that's making it any better of an experience. So I think that's the difference between any of these things. VR chat, I think, is for, because there's the same problem in Horizon, kind of, where there's been these promises of even just having legs since October, and they still haven't given us legs. So there's a lot of people that are kind of leaving, and it's because of these promises and these things that people are, that official people are saying are coming. Oh yeah, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, and then things are breaking. Other stuff isn't working. VR chat hasn't said anything for like they kind of, I feel like they just now kind of started like responding and doing updates, but and they're helpful and they're actually in response to what's actually being asked for and not stuff that nobody asked for and then trying to get us excited about it.
I've been making this joke for some time, and that this legs thing is the whole separate thing. It's like a meme in metaverse.
Mm,
Legs, and
mm-hmm.
like Horizons was announcing, oh, we're finally getting legs, and like
Man, and that
imagine
was fake.
spatial. Oh, we've been having legs for several months by now, and here I am flexing my full body tracking. you know.
Right. Like, come on.
City Girl, you have your hand up. What's going on?
Hey, thanks for giving me a chance to speak. I'm new to this, and Vernon invited me, and I'm glad I jumped in because this is really great to hear what you guys are saying. I'm not a world builder. I'm a host. I host events and I host a talk show called Crypto City, and I started over in Altspace, where events were, real easy to put on and a great way to make good community. When Altspace was closing, everyone was jumping over to, either Horizon, VR Chat, or Spatial. And I chose Spatial because I said, oh my God, they have all the event hosting stuff. I went over and checked it out. I was so impressed with what they promised. And I had I commissioned someone to build the world for me so I could go over there and do this show. My show is all about teaching the community about Web3, crypto, NFTs, all that stuff. So I wanted it to be very community centered. Started doing the show over there and immediately started noticing all of the problems with spatial, such as the biggest one with no stage blockers. It was super disruptive.
Bruh.
People showing up to my event and literally charging the stage, jumping in my face while I'm up there, and then attacking my guests while I'm up on stage. I mean, it was ridiculous. So I immediately reached out to Spatial, who told me, yeah, we're working on it. It's going to be taken care of. You might see this within a year. I'm like, my security, my safety, my guest safety. And yeah, I get it. It's not so much safety because you can take your headset off, but it's harassment and it's disruptive. And I'm trying to do something positive for the community. It's not a talk show where I talk about myself. We're trying to teach people and help them get more into this whole VR Web3, mindset. And so it happened repeatedly week after week. And I kept going back to Spatial, who kept pushing me off. And then there was some racial things written on my walls in my room. There were some really harsh things that came at me. They came into my world and they hacked my world and put stuff in there. And I went back and asked Spatial to investigate, and they were like, yeah, we're investigating. We'll get back to you. It's been over a month now. And I have checked in several times and been not updated. So now next season, which is starting September 4th, I'm jumping to VR chat. I have a new world built over there. I have stage blockers. I have an actual
Let's go.
mod tool. I have all these things built into there where, I feel badly that initially I discounted VR chat because I said, I don't want to be interviewing my guest and have SpongeBob or, a Pikachu on the stage with me. Now I'm thinking, I don't care what they look like on stage as long as they're not being, disrupted. So I do feel
Right,
like,
embrace it, yeah.
yeah,
Why don't
Because
you
it
like
is the
Pikachu on
metaverse.
stage?
Yeah, I know,
Why
right?
don't
It's
you
the
like Pikachu
metaverse,
on
like,
stage? It's a metaverse.
that's the one thing I think that and not to cut off anyone, but I think that's the one thing that I think people should embrace is that anybody can be anything or whatever. And like you said, as long as they're not being a dick, like be whatever you want to be, but just
exactly.
be cool.
I agree with you completely. So I
Yeah.
do think every platform out there has something to offer, and I think Spatial has a lot of potential. I think that the people running Spatial are not focusing on the right things at this time. That's just my opinion, though.
City Girl, where did you host your event previously?
I started it in Altspace. I did from October until March in Altspace on Monday nights, and then I did April through the end of June in Spatial, and now it'll be September to the end of the year in VR Chat.
Wow, I'm so sorry to hear that you face these problems in Spatial, and we do really hope they will provide us for with most essential tools for safety. Yeah, safety is a concern, and the more popular any platform grows, it faces all the same challenges. It's about safety. It's important. Josh, you wanna add something?
Well, yeah, and we've talked about this issue in a couple of the previous episodes. Security is foundational, and if you don't have the numbers yet, and you're going to be going after those things need to be a priority in place beforehand. And there's people in this room that could probably echo what you said, City Girl, and I'm so sorry that happened to you. And it, from a technical standpoint, I'm thinking, gosh, this is easy to take care of, guys. Come on. But as you said, it's got to be made a priority, or these things are just going to keep being put on the back burner. And if they are doing a big marketing push, which I sincerely hope they do, in this next month or this quarter, they need to circle back around on that stuff, or all those users are just gonna flee the first time they have a Nazi sign in their space. Or like you said, storming your stage. You got to lay this foundational stuff first when you start to go after the users.
So, guys,
Absolutely.
Presby, Harley, you've been to 3 platforms so far. What do you say about safety?
Mm.
If you
Every platform,
compare, if you compare Spatial, Horizons, and VR Chat, where do you feel safe and why?
every everywhere but spatial. Every platform I've been on there's private instances. There's if somebody's harassing people, there's at least a vote to kick somebody out. You can block someone where you can't see them. You can mute people. Like it feels kind of weird saying it's kind of this like obvious stuff but yeah, like there's you don't have to deal with it if you don't want to with any like literally anything. Like I know a lot of people have as far as VR chat goes, there is kind of a stigma with VR chat. Um, which I'm actively like kind of trying to break now. I kind of made it my mission to like make it where it's like VR chat isn't about a lot of what you see. We all know what we're talking about, but
Well, VR
yeah,
Chat,
there's
I
just
feel like, is a lot about what you don't see there when you come
yes,
first time. It's about
exactly,
that. So we made a
exactly,
decision. Going from world to world, of course, you can encounter a lot of shit because, just because of
yeah.
the numbers, there's so
It's
many
like the world.
users
It's like the
everywhere.
world. You never
Yeah,
know.
it's like the world. Yeah. So, and we made a decision. We go through Discord, so we know where we're going, and it's been amazing so far. We find
Mm-hmm.
our way. We find beautiful people. We find builders, communities, avatar creators. I'm like, yeah. I guess that's the way to go. You have to navigate your way before going anywhere. Make.
Hey,
Hi,
family.
Doc.
I can't wait to come hang out with y'all. First of all, and you guys show me the way.
Hmm.
I'm always up for whatever, and without question, I really miss Alt Space. Like I loved my existence. City Girl, I think we actually met in Alt Space back in the day, fam. Um, so I'm all about it. I will say, as far as I know, and this could be based on the host tools and paying for the subscriptions, but you can lock down your spatial spaces. There are many ways to lock down your spatial spaces, actually, and you can kick people out. There are some things about it. So,
You can kick them
uh,
out one time,
Yeah,
and
there are ways to
if
exploit
they're a
that.
guest, you can't. There's one.
They're
There
a
was
guest,
this one
you
guy
can't kick them.
that he exploited every single thing.
Hmm.
I mean, there may be ways, bro, but I'm pretty sure whatever you're
I
gonna say,
think, I mean,
that dude crushed all
again,
of that.
I would just say, I think it's like everything else we're talking about. Like, who's coming in, who are you inviting? Just like we talked about token gating our experience or private servers, there are ways to deal with all these things.
You
You
have
can
to
make a
pay the
token
token
gated
gate though,
ticket.
man.
No, but a token, what's the difference between a private thing and a token? And
And
again, I'm not even
we're talking
I'm not a
about
spatial maxi in any way. I'm just like,
no,
let's
I
make sure
understand.
we're all
But
seeing that there
we're
are
talking about
options.
a public world that's kind of because
Sure,
what
but
you're
like,
saying I think would more so apply to like an event space or maybe when if you're throwing a thing. But if you got a space that's open to everyone, like Press has a movie theater, you can't really token gate that or make it private or you know what I mean. Like if someone can just come in and like I think Josh just said, like throwing Nazi signs up and saying the N word and doing everything he
I
can to
listen,
just
let me tell
offend.
you something. I have had every different kind of experience in almost every metaverse I've been in.
But
You know,
I'm sure you could easily at least report the person or
Yep.
Yeah, and
you know
like
what I
City Girl
mean.
says, she's still waiting to hear back from
that wasn't
support.
really the case in alt space. Like when you got the spammers coming in, and in fact, that's why they went to the most ridiculous sign-ins ever. Like I don't know if anybody remembers. By the end, it was like two-factor into Microsoft and give your left ear. Like it got so ridiculous because they didn't have any other way to do it.
I
I
mean,
think
that's a
I think
way
that's a constant human problem, and locking things down is really important. Is all,
Make
and
for sure,
that's
for
all.
sure.
I'd like to point out though that I did pay for I paid the $25 a month for the host services, thinking that it was going to help. This particular person, whoever it was you were unable to kick them at all. You could kick them periodically from the event space, but they would come back immediately. You were unable to ban them or report them. So I ended up having to take screenshots and report it in with their IP address. So Spatial has that, but they have done nothing with it to this point. And
Probably the same guy.
it was repeatedly under different names with the same IP address. The other issue is, and I do agree with what you're saying about making private instances, but the whole purpose of my show is to bring people from the community into it to get them interested and teach them some basics so they'll want to do more of it. So blocking them out is kind of counterintuitive to what I'm doing, especially for people who are new and don't really know what token gating is, and don't really know how to get in on the private. Like we've had a lot of people show up at my show that it's like, oh, it's my first day in here and I stumbled upon this, and next thing I know, I'm finding out that they're like super into all this really cool VR stuff, and they end up becoming a guest on my show. But they would never have even found me if I had them blocked or closed out so that it was a private event. I'm trying very hard to bring more people into it and not really, have an elitist type of group.
City
So
Girl,
can
I've
I
a
just
question for
ask a
you.
follow up
How
there
would you?
would be can one follow up. And again, City Girl, we came from alt space. Like I still look at alt space as my home, I can't let go. I need to let go, but I haven't fully let go. Like I do have spatial spaces. I have spaces in Decentraland. Technically speaking, I have a space in Vatum as well. Um, and so a VR option would be amazing. But does VR chat have the ability for people who don't have headsets to be a part of what you're doing?
You
Yes.
can join on
Yeah, there's
PC.
a
Well,
Yes,
desktop.
PC.
absolutely. Yeah.
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 Fantastic.
City Girl, I have a question. How do you, like, suppose if you face this kind of situation in VR chat? I'm not familiar because I never host any events. I'm a builder, and so Josh is like, we're builders here. So how do you deal with this kind of problem in VR chat if you encounter that?
Well, we have a couple of things built into the world. There's stage blocker within the world. There's a stage blocker. We also have an admin moderator tool that VR chat kind of frowns on permanently banning people, but you can, unless there's like a legit reason to do it. Like if they did something really bad, you can definitely go through the process to report them to get them banned. But that we do have mod tools in there in which you can isolate that person to a different part of the world, so they will not be disruptive to what is happening in there. And then after,
send them straight to a box.
When you have time, you can go and report them and go through the process to get that user. You can also block that user very easily.
Make, what are the security tools in Decentraland? What does that look like in handling people that are getting rowdy?
You know, I mean, Decentraland is such a different beast. I haven't really had the same types of experiences. One, you can't build on somebody else's land. So that right there, you know, like not everybody has the privy tools to just go in and do that. I mean, Spatial's tools are right on the front end of everything. So if you don't have everything locked down, da 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 da. But when it comes to DCL, and Cece, again, if she comes in, she will have a lot more alpha than me on the subject. But in DCL, I think you could kick people or block people. I'll let Cece chime on that. I haven't had the same kind of issues than I've had in VR, and then I've had people fuck with my spatial space, but I really haven't had it. But you also don't have people using the chat the same way, right? It's such a different beast.
Cece, you're welcome to talk in the space. Sorry it took so long to wrap up our topic. I mean, you can still join the topic. Yeah, so please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. Josh, Cyber Nerd Baby, I'm huge fans. Presby, it was so nice to hear your voice. I've been dying to sort of meta meet you. So great space, Josh. Thank you so much. So to address the immediate question regarding Decentraland, as a user, I do have the ability to click on the offending party's profile and block/report them. And it is very easy process. And then that goes directly to, you know, the Decentraland DAO organization, and they take care of it from there. And as a builder, I am not exactly sure what your, I guess you could say, host tools are, because I haven't built into Decentraland myself yet. So I'm excited to explore that. But I can only imagine in Decentraland you can do like stage blockers. You put up, you know, colliders and stuff for spaces that you don't want your guests accidentally stumbling into. And City Girl, my heart breaks that you had such a negative experience in Spatial. My home world is Spatial, so it hurts me that you didn't feel welcomed, or you didn't feel taken care of, and you felt unsafe. So from the bottom of my heart, I am so sorry that you had that experience. And I hope one day we can earn a little bit of your love and trust back. And that's just from the community, not from, you know, Spatial themselves, just as a person using the platform. I never want anyone to feel unsafe. So that breaks my heart to hear that.
Thank you, Cece. I really do appreciate that.
Now that brings up a question. In Decentraland, do they allow guests? Because I think I remember having to sign up.
In DCL, you do need a wallet address in order to hop in. Yeah, that's kind of one of the barriers to entry.
I think you actually can be a guest. I think there's a way to be a guest in it still.
Ooh, I stand corrected, ladies and gentlemen.
You can come through as a guest.
So accessibility at the end of the day is not such a great thing, right? I mean, if it's easily accessible, then make a conclusion. It's easily accessible to everyone, and
Right.
you can't really do anything about that.
But I really love City Girl's point about discoverability. Like the reason that a lot of us are using these different virtual platforms is for, you know, the opportunity to reach new audiences globally. And doing that in a safe and secure way, I 100% agree. We need to, you know, build that infrastructure together.
So, Presby Harley, please tell us about discoverability. How do you feel about three platforms? How, where you discovered the most?
To be honest, spatial, and that's uh, I don't I can kind of merge points actually because with Make asking if it's accessible, if VR chat is accessible outside of the headset. It is accessible outside of the headset. It's not very easily accessible outside of the headset. Also, VR chat probably has the worst discoverability, but still it trumps everything. Horizon's discoverability is, yeah, it's about the same probably as VR chat. It depends. It just depends. Like you're not going to be on top of the front page just because you have 5 people in your world. You know what I mean?
So, what it takes to be discovered on those platforms, you think? Because I believe here the problem is the number of users.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that. So, I was like,
That's
obviously, VR chat has capability to host thousands and thousands of people into
man.
your world. It just splits indefinitely into instances. So once spatial got numbers, will we be able to be discovered so easily?
I don't think so. But what gets discovered and what makes you discoverable is by having something good. Because you can be discovered. There are people actively checking, community labs on VR chat and checking for the new worlds. Like I've actually gotten more visits on VR chat, but the discoverability, like I said, on spatial, they'll throw you right on the front page, or you're right on top for whatever reason you end up there, or whatever reason they have for you to be there or not be there. But VR chat, yeah, you can't just drop something and expect that like it's going to be on the front of anything. But if it's good, people will stay, and I think their algorithm is based on people staying and not having issues with it, and stuff like that, as opposed to just you know you got a couple people in your world. So hey, here's a world that's popping right now because there's 4 people there.
City Girl, go ahead.
It's got to be good.
Yeah, I do completely agree that the discoverability on VR chat is going to be a challenge. That's a big part of the reason why I originally went with spatial. And I think that you have to market the hell out of yourself in order to, get yourself the audience. Also, it's a lot of, word of mouth. Like, hopefully, people who are attending, like, I do have a core group of followers, and I'm hoping that they'll all come with over to VR chat. I post on Instagram and Facebook. Am I the best social media marketer in the world? Absolutely not. But I'm also juggling like 2 full-time jobs as well as doing this. So I do the best I can. But there are some people out there. MetaLink is trying to put together, an app that people can use where it promotes the events that are happening across all platforms in the metaverse. So, you download this app and you type in what your event is, what genre it's in, and then, it goes onto this app. And people who have the app, I mean, which he's got to do a better job of marketing that because it's an amazing app. It just needs to get out there more. And then you could go on and say, hey, what's going on in VR chat tonight that's tech related? And then maybe I'll pop up on that, But I think that spatial is definitely better for discoverability. They just need to fix their problems. I do think they have great potential. VR chat has the numbers for sure, but not easy to be discovered on there. So these are the challenges, and I think it depends on where you're going with what event you're trying to host or what worlds you're trying to push. You know, you're ultimately, no matter what platform that you're on, you're responsible for your own marketing at the end of the day, I think.
I agree.
Josh, your turn.
No, I totally agree with that. And, you know, maybe that's maybe these conversations are important because we can, um, again, we can find some sort of a middle ground or some sort of a balance between this stuff, you know, where to where it's not like, oh, this one has this and this, but they're fucking this up, or this one, these people are fucking this part up, and like, you know, I think we'll get a lot more cross-platform users if things are a little bit closer to each other. And you know, you know, we see VRMs and stuff happening, and that's good for avatar interoperability. But people need to have at least when they're wanting to bounce around and be a multi-meta maxi or whatever, there has to be some sort of a fundamental understanding of what kind of things that they can expect there, or they're just kind of bouncing around and disliking each platform for different things. I don't know.
Well, in this case, it would be really good to talk to Woke right now if he wants to come up and talk about the Japanese take at the metaverse, because so far I've seen the most interoperable platforms are in Japan, and they literally have their hubs where they can host their avatars as VRMs, and they can drag and drop this avatar on every platform in Japan they go. And it could be nice to hear from Woke. Woke, do you want to come up and talk about that? I will invite him anyways. Let's see if he
I
will
sent an
come
invite
up.
too.
Cece, maybe you go ahead right now.
Thank you. You guys are tickling my interest with platform interoperability. So, and thank you for using Multimeta Maxi, Josh. It sounds so nice on your voice. But I love the idea of interoperability. It's something I've been pushing for across multiple platforms. It's why I adventure to different platforms and meet with the community members, because the builders really are the ones who are going to provide, I guess you could say, the push for the opportunity to have something like, it's nice to have your own avatar across different worlds, but what would really be nice is the same controls. If we had, you know, one universal metaverse like control system for keyboard or for, you know, hand controller, you can have your inward world controls, but have it switch over to whatever we want to call it, you know, WASD, whatever we utilize, because that's another barrier for entry. I go into all these different worlds, and it's now, if I want to change view, it's not V, it's Z to go from first to third, or, you know, all these little things that you have to relearn for each world is potentially a barrier, and potentially you're losing the opportunity to onboard somebody into that world. Also, I think the immersive experience between, like, traveling between worlds, you don't want to be aware of the fact that you're changing URLs. And I think Hyperfy does this really, really well. They just implemented these really cool portal systems where a door opens up, totally Star Trek like style kind of door, and it like opens up and you can see into the next world. And it's not necessarily a Hyperfy world, it's into spatial and Decentraland. You see where you're going, and then you walk into it, and then you're like bumped into the URL experience. But if, you know, the receiving world had a similar process, maybe there is, you know, more of an immersive like travel experience between worlds, so you don't realize that you just hopped from Hyperfy to Decentraland or Decentraland to VR chat, whatever it happens to be on your PC and even in a headset. But I do think it's, you know, up to us to advocate for that, and as builders, whatever we can do to facilitate those changes. Sorry if I talk too long, guys.
Please
Just
talk
interrupt me.
more. Tell us more. Well, here Space Joe came up as our teammate who is having the most experience with VRM avatars. He takes our avatars and bring them literally everywhere into games, into multiplayer games, single player games, Japanese platforms, any platforms. I mean, please share, Space Joe. Go ahead.
Hey guys. Yeah, so about VRMs, what I find fascinating is that it's so interoperable. Like the one which I'm using most frequent one is Vroid Hub, which I can upload my avatars there, and it will be stored there. So there are many different apps available, which most of them are free to use. So, for example, there is one called um, like for AR, there's this thing called Word2 where I can log in. It goes to my it connects to my Vroid Hub account, and then I could just drop my avatar there and start playing with it. And there's also like for a webcam.
Tell us how you're playing with it, please. That
Ah,
matters.
right. So, well, it's there is another platform. It's called Cluster. It's kind of like a virtual world on its own where you can meet other people, hang out. Kind of like VR chat actually, because it's built on it's mostly Japanese users there. So it's like a drag and drop thing. So you just log in and then you can load your avatar there instantly. And for Vroid Hub, they only allow you to upload your avatar not more than 64 megabytes. So there's a control on that so that it ensures a very smooth experience whenever you bring your avatar around. And for in terms of gamification, there's this game on Steam. It's called Craftopia. It's kind of like Legend of Zelda. So, I mean, for me, the fun part comes when I'm able to use my avatar, like my current PFP. This was made by Cybernet Baby. So, what I like is that I'm able to bring my avatar around. Like, this is like my identity. So, I'm going around different worlds. I can go to cluster, like a metaverse, meet other people. They see my avatar. I can play a game. I can see myself in that game. I can go to AR. I can it kinds of like I'm almost present everywhere in different realities. So that's what uh interests me in that
What was
sense.
that? What was that called again, bro?
Zeroid Hub.
Vroid Hub.
Vroid Hub.
It's
Okay.
basically a website where you drop your avatar as long as it's less than 64 megabyte. You can bring any avatar uh, in VRM file format, and you can then connect various games and apps to this platform. And I think Hyperfy as well now providing with this, or was it Monaverse?
As I recall, Mona and Hyperfy supports VRM integration as well as I think Decentraland as well right now.
Sweet.
So, and we had this app for a while for Ready Player Me. I think it was Avatar Cam. I'm not sure. If anybody remembers the name, please give me
Yeah,
the
that's
name.
it. Yeah, I have that.
So you can use your VRM avatar, which you're using, suppose, in Spatial and a couple of other platforms, and you can like record yourself as avatar with the blend shapes and all from your phone, and you can like stream also, right?
Yep.
As your
I didn't know
avatar,
you
and
could
it's
use
really easy.
VRM.
Yeah, and you don't have to use VRM, but this Vertu app that Space Joe is mentioning, if you connect it to Viroid Hub, you can use any avatar the same way as long as it has blend shapes on your VRM. like any avatar, not only Ready Player Me. So it's a good tip for streamers who wants to use their own avatars. Like suppose you, Presby, and you, Harley, you have your own avatars and it's your identity. You're the same in spatial and VR chat so far I've seen. And if you want to use your own identity and just stream or talk to people, record videos, whatever, sing, you can try to use this app. It's really easy. It just tracks your face from your phone camera.
I'm gonna try that. Do you know of any apps like that where it's AR, where you can have the background be like real?
Space Jonos.
Yep. The app that Cyber mentioned, Virtu.
It
You
does
you
that?
can you can upload your own background. It also supports hand tracking. I tried it. It tracks the fingers pretty well as well. So it's and you could also use other avatars available on the Vroid Hub. Some are free to use, and I mean it's a whole it's a very large library of avatars there.
Yeah, you can
You play around.
monetize there. If you're an avatar creator for VTubing, suppose, or for these platforms, you can monetize there, right, on Vroid Hub?
I'm not sure about monetization.
No, you said some of them are free to use. So
Yeah,
some of them, it
exactly.
means not.
Oh yeah, so right. Somebody's making money.
Yeah, I mean depending, because some of the avatars there they have specific like use, like some are allowed for commercial, some are not allowed for streaming. You know, like the users have control over how people would use their avatars there.
Okay.
Woke, it's great that you came up. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I just woke up. I just heard my name from bed. I was like, just get up. Like, yeah, good morning.
Are you in Malaysia already,
No,
Woke?
no,
Tell me, are you in
no.
Malaysia?
My flight is tonight, around 5 p.m. tonight, and I will be there, around midnight. But yeah, I think I will see you guys in person. I'm so excited, like fully immersive experience. I'm not builder, but I'm very involved myself with Web3 and virtual world. I love your Twitter space. Yeah, I mean X space, but yeah.
Well,
Uh,
Woke, your calendar is fire. I mean, it covers Twitter Spaces, X Spaces. Sorry. It covers spatial events. It covers VR chat events right now. I mean, Woke became a VIP member of quite quite good VR chat nightclub, and like, oh my God, Woke is VIP already there. How did
I know.
this
Everyone hit
happen?
me up like, What happened to you? You got VIP, but I don't have Windows. I only have VR and the MacBook, so I cannot enter the event. Like I'm too VIP to enter. What kind of VIP I am. But yeah, my calendar. I really appreciate people who like quote retweet and then put the detail in the reply. Yeah, because I'm not builder, I'm not artist or anything. I just wanted to make it started for like only myself. I just wanted to organize every event. Like I didn't want to miss it, so I just created like kind of homemade, like a grandpa type of calendar. But people started liking it. I just like updating, and like it's like a first cross platform, like a community calendar, and that's my goal. And I want to update more in the future, like a clickable or something, like a put into go into the detail and what kind of community they're organizing, event detail. And yeah, that'd be great. In terms of Japanese VR, I went to Akihabara, and there's like a XR VR event. Like so many big corporate company came to a virtual experience, but they have like a language barrier. Also, they don't nobody teach how they build, and there's no school. And like some people doing like a building a Blender Unity, but those are like a very very advanced people. And also the cluster, as you guys mentioned, cluster is only made for like a Japanese people, and you go there like 100 200 Japanese people in one space, but they don't interact with like Western people or foreign people in general. And I think language barrier is a very, very huge challenge for Japanese market. But I think in terms of like entertainment or like music or like a cool space, like you don't need to speak language, right? You can experience it. I think the nightclub music, like something like it maybe like talk show or something get to know from like a top builder like you guys, I think would be awesome. I think the content matter and also the Web3 and metaverse is two different things like we always argue about. But for me, this is my personal opinion. But the metaverse thing is also Web3 for me. And technology side, Web3 has two aspects. I think the Web3 has a technology side and also like a decentralized side. People sometimes say, "Oh, it's not decentralized, it's not Web3," but for me, it's like technology is also Web3, and another things like the decentralized like crypto thing is also, you know,
Is it is
Web3.
Japanese metaverse decentralized?
It's not decentralized. Basically, the big corporate, build the metaverse platform, but they don't know how to build. Like they don't know how to approach to like Web2 people. I think the metaverse and Web3, like sellers selling, selling sellers, selling to sellers. We have to expand more to like Web2 people and how to approach to corporate, create content for everyone, like a welcome, I mean, it's going to be in the future. I wanted to say is that the technology aspect of Web3 and the decentralized aspect of Web3, I think in the future will merge together and then become like cross-platform things. That's what I'm hoping. And I think that you guys doing an amazing job, like building so dope space. And we as a like a Web 2.2, like 2.5 people, and try to cooperate with like those web connect with to those like Web2 people, like a non-virtual native people. And I'm always like thinking how to approach to them. But definitely we need like those kind of X space or like exchange information, like latest information, because living in Japan, like information is very, very slow, and like they don't know spatial. They just they use spatial for like a um like a very hobby thing. Like the class size is not for like a corporate purpose. Actually, they cannot make money, so there's like a strict regulation there. But I think the change is coming. So just keep building. So thank you for having me.
Well, the one thing you mentioned here, sellers selling to sellers, is the one problem that we want to, like we want to rise above that, and we actually want to start attracting a real users who just came to play and they're having fun, because we all can support each other only as much, and yeah, we'd like to see some numbers, and we're working, we hoping to work together on the ways that we can see numbers like all together and discover or learn the algorithm which actually helps us to be like Roblox game builders, who have the numbers, so they literally making full-time living, or even they making a fortune. I mean, depending on the popularity of their game. So we are not in Roblox, but we would like to see something like this happening. Uh, Chaz, go ahead.
Hey, it's Chaz McNarly. How's it going? Thanks for having me up. I'm a huge fan of High CC. I just saw her in here, so I wanted to join. She's one of my favorite Spaces hosts. But I'm super stoked right now. I'm getting my VRM built of my character, and it's looking awesome.
So where are you planning to go with your VRM?
I've mostly been in OnCyber. Yeah, I've been using OnCyber and HyperFi. Those have been my two favorite.
So on Cyber now allows for VRMs, for custom VRMs, right?
Yeah. You can. It's cross-platform. It works on HyperFi. It works on OnCyber. You just upload it yourself, and then you can take them wherever. It's pretty amazing.
So like on Cyber as the platform, which we don't cover much here. Is there anyone who goes on Cyber a lot and have like great experiences and having it as their favorite platform? I would like to hear why.
I really enjoy OnCyber. You know my favorite platform. We will not get into that, but OnCyber is really fun to build in. It can handle high volume, really great graphics, I personally think, and the fact that it can support NFT, avatars as well as VRMs. I can now download my Decentraland Decentraland avatar and use it in OnCyber. And so there's lots of Decentralites who have a second home in OnCyber because of the aforementioned, ease of use and build.
As a builder, and I guess Presby, Josh, and Harley will support me in that. How do you build on Cyber? Can you share with us this part?
So I only know about the world builder that they have, and you go into the space and it is free to start a space. And then you can start building with, it's sort of like Robloxy kind of a situation where you take the wall and you put the wall down and you can like start putting together pieces like Legos, which is really interesting. So I've been playing around with that. And I believe if you have a compatible file, you can import it as well as an environment. So I'm just getting started. You'd probably have to talk to, some serious builders who know it much better than I. But coming from like a full-on noob, I don't know Blender, I don't know Unity, being able to go in there and put stuff together like it's Legos is mind-blowing for me. So I'm enjoying the experience. And I'm like, I'm not a builder, but I'm pretending to be one.
No,
So,
you are though. You are.
talking
That's how
about, yeah,
Horizon
you are
is.
builder. You are
Yep.
builder. I mean, like what I like about some of the mentioned above platforms here, that they allow a lot of creativity to flourish, and there's event organizers, there are dancers, there comedy clubs, there insane amount of different creativity going on, and a lot of platforms, they realizing that they don't only have to support like Unity builders or game developers, they actually have to support all kind of content creators, because at the end of the day, content on social media is something that attracts users to all those platforms. I mean, and we can look at Roblox, number one. How much content is going on about Roblox on social media? I mean, if you have this algorithm where you can see Roblox content, once you see 1, 2, 3, it starts flooding into your feed. You can't get rid of it anymore. All you see is Roblox. Is there anyone who tried to build for Roblox or considered here? Because, well, numbers don't lie, as usual.
I
Oh,
hate stepping in again because I know 12-year-old kids who are building games in Roblox. My son is one of them. I know
my
all about
daughter is one
Roblox.
of them. My daughter is one of them, but I keep
And they
silent.
have
I
so
only ask
much
questions.
fun. I know. I'll stop. I've been in almost every world you're going to ask about, so I'll just shut up and just sit here.
No, please, no, please, no. You just said about Roblox. Please share experience about Roblox. We're all curious because numbers don't
Yeah.
lie.
Dude, Roblox is genius. When we explored Roblox with the Metaverse 3, we went in with the experts, and we're talking about kids ages like my son is 6 all the way up to like 14. And we went in with the experts. They schooled us on like the etiquette, how what you type in chat, like how you start play. They have play names, they have a culture that they are like building around this, and they play each other's games. And when somebody likes a game, they duplicate it in their own way, so they're learning from each other, and they're not competing. They're just saying, I really liked your game, I'm going to make one of my own, and maybe they change something up. And my son is learning how to cooperate. He's learning how to, operate a laptop really proficiently at the age of 6. He is he's learning to learn, I guess you could say, in a sense. And Roblox makes it really easy. The first thing you do when you enter Roblox, the very first thing, they drop you into like a starter world, and they give you your very first quest. And during that quest, you go through, hey, this is the type of buildings you can build. Here's the materials that you can use to build these buildings. Oh, by the way, there's a, there's a studio where you can, like a sandbox where you can play around and learn how to build. And you just go through these steps. And by the time you're done, not only are you ready to play the games that are available in Roblox, but you're inspired. They inspire you to want to create. And part of the game process that Roblox does is playing games. Like you build is fun. To build is to be fun. To play is to be fun. To connect is fun. So they make each step of the process that some of us are like, fuck, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to have to go back into Blender, Unity, whatever it is, and fix this shit. They make it fun. And that's how we're going to get these future generations to, I guess you could say, adopt the world that we are building for them. So, yeah.
Presby, did you ever
Absolutely.
consider to build your movie theater in Roblox?
No, but now I am. Is there a
I've
screen
been to some
sharing
movie
capability?
theaters in Roblox. That's fun.
Oh, yeah, I will have to look into that.
Presby, it's addicting, so make sure you have like a weekend to really rabbit hole.
I allocate some time. Okay, duly noted. Duly noted.
I mean, a lot of people say like, oh, this blocky avatars and stuff like that. This is not immersive. But then I think CC will agree with me, and maybe Josh will someday agree with me that it kind of grows on you. You start seeing these avatars and like, damn, this is cute, and then you see the next one. Oh my God, this is even cuter, and then few hours pass. You look at them and you already hooked. This avatar seems so fun to you, and I think we have like Decentraland, where avatars also kind of, they don't look like super immersive, right? But it's not about that. It is somehow about the culture and aesthetic which they're able to make appealing, even using blocks.
I
Josh,
forgot
I
Everything you
to
know.
guys have
mention
said.
the wearable game in Roblox is fire. The wearable game,
Yeah,
OMG. Just gonna drop that and
I've
then
seen that.
Yeah, did they
You
drop a
even-
Barbie collection? Is that true? Because if
yes,
so, I'm
OMG. I'm
in.
actually gonna
Oh,
log in right now and go look at it.
Okay.
but
I mean, the
everything you guys
wearables
have
in Roblox
said
would even
is
bring
literally
Nike.
Horizon Worlds.
A lot of time we go into Roblox and we discover something so hilarious we can't stop laughing. It's amazing. The level of creativity of 12 years old is overwhelming. I'm scared of them. When they grow up, we're going to be so outdated. So I'm looking forward to Josh coming to Roblox and discovering all this fun stuff. Are you up for this, Josh?
Definitely. I'm old school. I definitely have a affinity for Legos. So I don't know if anybody used to love Legos when they were a kid, but that's what it kind of reminds me of. And even if it is these blocky things, the wearable economy in there should attract builders that aren't even necessarily interested in playing the games, right? Because I mean, what we had the crypto kicks, and I believe they had a Decentraland Nike shoe and in Roblox, and now we're seeing in Fortnite as well. So that should be something for people to consider, even if they're not necessarily interested in playing it. If somebody's after that cash, it sounds like a good platform to be on.
Well, as we say, it has numbers, and it's I mean, like, honestly, among all the metaverse platforms, it is number one. Considering numbers, it's 300 million users daily or something like this. I mean, you can't, you can't compete with that. It's going to be very hard, even for such big players like VRChat, and it's going to be really hard for the rest. So yeah, and it's just, it's I'm going into this experience, and the whole world is dancing, and that's the all they do, and it looks so hilarious. You're getting addicted to just looking at that. Don't even have to play games.
Well, it's this meme culture, right? And it's you know, these are the future spacians and the future VR chatters or whatever, you know. And when they get older, they're going to be looking maybe for a more mature or maybe Roblox, you know, it evolves into meeting them when they're older teenagers and into young adults. But you know, like you guys said, I'm not a parent myself, but all I've heard from parents that have kids in Roblox is how quickly they take to technology and start learning and teaching others how to build and teaching others about the etiquette and the important things that will be even more important in the larger metaverses that will come to be as a whole platform. So I think it's at least important to really pay attention to it.
Well, and one more thing, they just got into VR, and I think over the week they had 1 million downloads of the app on the Oculus Store. So Meta definitely knows what they're doing. Even sometimes we like we shit on Meta and say all kind of stuff, but Meta knows what they're doing. You know, they got instantly 1 million downloads for the app, and they know what they're doing. And Press B, maybe it's worth looking at because it's also kind of a VR experience, maybe not that advanced, but numbers don't lie.
I would totally go to your movie theater, Presby. I'm in. Let's do it.
Ooh, I'm down. Now you guys have me really curious. I'm gonna check it out.
So what it is this for builders that are like coming from Unity that want to do more than just kind of non-builder activity. Um, it's this studio that they have to learn. Is it like Unreal Editor for Fortnite type of thing where it's closely integrated with the game itself, or does anybody know?
So Roblox Studio, I downloaded it on accident. So let me open it up. But the client is really easy to navigate. But let's see. I'll get back to you. I'll take a look at it.
Well, I also have my Roblox Studio on my PC, obviously, and well, as CC said, it's real fun, you know, and they it's really easy to start, and the world when you start it already has physics. You don't even have to think about that, you know. It's just like automatic feature, and when you like load the world, it has already your avatar in it, and you test your world with your avatar, something like spatial, yeah. But it's just you don't have to think about so many things, and there's like the shop, the marketplace of Roblox is already integrated into the Roblox Studio, and if you build, you just type in search something you need, and there's already a million of variants of something that you might want to use and put into your game. So it's actually easy. There's a lot of scripted objects. So sometimes you want to build a game, but you don't know how to script in Lua, and there's already so many scripted objects that you can use and utilize and learn. Like because there's so many creators. I heard there's like over 3 million creators on Roblox of all ages and sizes and whatever. I think the library is already so huge. It's easy to start, but as we discussed earlier, the visibility is kind of a hard thing on Roblox as well. I mean, if you target to build up like a popular game, and because there's already a million games over there, it's hard to get discovered. Kinda, yeah.
This looks fun. I will see you guys later. I just posted a screenshot. I'm going to be in here for a few hours.
Hey, I just wanted to share my experience. Last year, I went to a university in Japan that we did like a metaverse seminar, like just enjoying it, in spatial together. I think those people are future. I mean, those kids. If we can, approach to like education institution that, in Japan, 2 years ago, started like learning finance in school. I think I remember when I was young, computer class and came to school, and we are so excited because like a full AC room and like a computer, like internet. I think it's gonna be a future. I think we should try to engage to like education, like those kids, like they will create a future. We are like a building. We are making contents. I think that's the key. There's an age restriction and each platform, but if they can like categorize it like this space is under like 18, like this space is for adult or something, like age restriction or something, that'd be great. I think education of part is a huge part, and they are asking me like, oh, can I talk to this builder? I say, yeah, I can. Actually they're my friend. Then I can translate, for you guys or something that they want to hear from you guys, that like a top builder and how they build a space, how they how you guys become who you are right now. And those contents is actually dope and very interesting in my opinion.
We just open Unity and sit and look at it for hours. That's how, that's how we get where we are, right, Josh?
And hope for the best.
We really, really hate Unity. We all agree on that. And this is a love-hate relationship.
Well, it's a platform that anybody that kind of remembers it when it first came on the scene, it has grown a lot, and it's probably especially with the Apple Pro report or the Vision Pro support with Unity being baked in. I think hopefully it gets the frustrations out of it before these rush of people come looking for these builder tools, because it really is seeming like outside of the Fortnite and outside of the Roblox Studio, it does seem like it's going to be the platform of choice to build these experiences on.
Well, definitely VR prevails. Like Unity prevails in VR platforms. I think I've never really seen anything for VR developed in Unreal. Have you seen, Josh?
I haven't. And I know that in Unity, I mean, if you want to put something on one of these platforms, or if you're wanting to just go straight up standalone on a dedicated server or Steam, for example, that's the VR that's preferred even for that type of stuff. So, but no, I haven't seen anything on Unreal. But going back to this massive market that's on their way, they're going to be expecting a VR experience if they're playing Roblox in VR. However many downloads you said, a million downloads or whatnot. But I mean, the headset may look funny on them right now or whatever, but apparently they're taking really good to it, and they're going to expect that type of experience as well. So, hopefully we do see the VR and other platforms, but Unity seems to be where it's at for now.
Presby, I have a question for you. So you have this world which is on both VR chat and spatial. Can you share, please, where it was more difficult to build? Which, or I'd say better, which SDK for Unity is easier?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. Well, it's especially interesting because I started building the theater in VR chat and I struggled with the SDK. And that was before they released the new Creator Companion, which simplifies things, but it's still a bit rough to get through. I will say Spatial's SDK with all the examples truly helped bring my vision to life. Like, if you guys will notice, the platforms are straight from the feature demo example. Like, I really was able to explore and learn with those examples and deconstruct them. And again, my vision for the theater was kind of guided that way. But now, coming back to VR chat, I feel like I've learned a lot, and now I am embracing VR chat, and it's a different Unity. It's a lot older, so the capabilities are a little bit limited, so that I'm working against that as well. But it's just kind of an interesting go-between, honestly.
Well, what was so challenging? So you said you struggled a lot with building in VR chat.
Udon. I know at the time I downloaded the VRChat SDK, I didn't even know what udon meant, what it was. I just saw it on Booth. But now, having the experience with Spatial and learning about Script Machine and learning from you guys, really, from Josh sharing scripts and just thinking in that way, thinking like a coder, thinking like a scripter, thinking in that logic. Now I'm able to go back in Udon and and struggle a bit less. At least I kind of am aware of what components and nodes do.
So
But yeah, Udon.
just to add here, Udon is a visual scripting system designed for VR chat, and it's a lot like visual scripting that we're using in Spatial SDK, right?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, the graph is essentially the same. There are a few differences in terms of like compiling the nodes, but it's pretty much the same.
Is Udon utilizing the Unity visual scripting nodes? Like Spatial, we have a Unity visual scripting nodes, and Spatial made their own nodes. Is it the same for VRC SDK?
No, no, you can't use any of the Unity. It's like its own thing. It's got its own nodes.
So
There are a
where
lot
do
of
you
them are
learn
kind of
that? Which nodes
honestly
that what?
going from spatial to add on top of what Press said too. When we got into VR chat trying to build, we had no experience with Unity or Blender or any of that stuff. So the challenges were also with that. Like we were learning, and then jumping to spatial made it a lot easier and a lot more clear. And like she said, like Josh is like the greatest. Like he needs so much more recognition. Like Josh is doing
Not the greatest.
what
I
we
agree with
need.
that completely.
Josh is
Script
forever doing
God.
what we need. Yeah, but yeah, just yeah, it's totally different nodes. But taking what we learned with Script Graph and kind of like looking for the same types of things, and then also there's hella resources for VR chat to learn. Like if you look up something to do in VR chat, you're gonna find a tutorial for it and like a lot of them. So it makes it a lot easier to learn. Like there's so much documentation for VR chat, it's ridiculous. In so many different ways and takes, and yeah, it's the learning curve is assisted a lot.
You also have in VR chat the actual Udon scripting, right? Which is pretty close to standard C sharp. Have you looked at any of that, and what kind of roadblocks have you ran into with any of that? Because like when people share scripts, it's a lot easier to just copy and paste some code, and if we can just add some of the Udon components in the C sharp, how much
Hmm.
is allowed there?
I don't know much about the actual C sharp coding. I can kind of understand it and like piece it together with the visual scripting stuff, but um it seems to be that you can just plug C sharp into it. Like you can ask ChatGPT to like write me up a C sharp script for Udon. I haven't figured out how to actually plug it, but I want to say you probably can just yeah. I want to say you can probably do that, bro.
Spatial, you want to say something?
Yeah, I have a question for Presby and Harley. So, as builders on 3 different platforms, how do you measure the success of your world? Like, for example, do you have your own specific metric to determine if your world is doing well, like the number of visitors that you're getting? Like, what is the conversion? How do you measure that?
Press is a lot better at that than I am. I kind of tend to not even promote. Like, yeah, Press may be, yeah, she may be better to answer that because yeah, I'm actually trash at that part, to be honest.
Well, let's see. I don't necessarily have any set metrics. I guess just visibility is always important. I think I learned that from TikTok, especially, and as long as you're consistent, and some of you guys who follow me, you guys know I post every day. Not so much to Twitter because it is a little bit difficult to manage, which goes back to your point: is how do you manage it all? Um, it's I will say I'm not trying to force anyone to go to any platform. I want to meet people where they're at. So if you're on Spatial, I want to make sure I have something for you, and I want to make sure that flyer or post event is visible to you. Same with VR chat. I've got friends who sleep in VR chat, so I want to make sure I kind of cater to and target that audience in the way that is efficient for them. So I just try to keep all those things in mind and try to have fun with it at the same time. Because if I'm not having fun with it, then it's just work. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Finally, if we
The
circle
homies have a
back to
lot to do
Horizon,
with it. My bad.
Harley, you want to continue?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say the homies have a lot to do with it. Like people in Horizon. Well, one thing I definitely do is I try to make sure the experience is as close as possible in both or in all three if I'm doing all three. But yeah, like people that are in Horizon, what they like to do, okay, is this good for them here? Is this good for the people that, like she said, people like to sleep or whatever, or people like to watch movies, okay, or whatever. Yeah, so just trying to make it as relative to the experience that people experience and like to experience on that platform, I think is probably the best thing to do
So how
if I
about
had to say anything.
Horizons in general? Does it have like a lot of users? Do you feel like it's possible to be like to have a full-time career of building in Horizon worlds?
Oh, I know people that do. Yeah. It's not a crazy amount of people, but it's definitely enough. And yeah, I actually know a decent amount of people that just full time Horizon. Some people that actually got picked up by Meta and officially, work for Meta, and some people that just run whatever their operation is.
Actually, Meta likes to pick up their successful creators and partner with them. So it actually happened to us, but we do the augmented reality on Meta platforms. So yeah, that can happen. Yeah, that's for sure, and that is a big money.
Yeah, it is. It is. I wanna get with you about the AR stuff. I'm so interested in that stuff. We'll do that like some other time, but I wanna get into that stuff because that shit looks cool.
Well, Meta values their AR creators quite a lot, I can say, and they are like nurturing them. And the only fact that they are flying their top 100 creators all over the world and putting them into like hotels and hosting like parties and events for them, that says quite a bit, you know.
Yeah, yep, yep.
I mean, circling back to my question earlier, why I asked that is because as builders, as creators, we always need to know how our build or our world is performing. How many visitors are we getting? Because how else would we know and identify if we are actually doing something right or wrong, or we need that numbers, that conversion. Because if I were to be approached by a potential client and they ask me, how is the performance of this platform that you're building on, I need to give them the number. That's why, like Cybernet Baby repeatedly say that numbers don't lie. That's because majority of the questions that we often get is that they need the conversion. They need to know that if we are investing on this platform, building here for our other clients, are we going to get back the ROI? So I think because me and Cyber, we build on Metaspark, and every creators there get access to the performance of the filters. We get insights into how many people are using the experience, the average time spent using the experience, the age, the age ratio. Are there more to Gen Zs, Gen Y, millennials, or Gen Alphas who are using which countries
Or not, Gen Alpha
users
is not
from?
allowed to use Instagram.
Well, yeah, yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, so we get insights into all these metrics, and I believe that moving forward for other platforms as well, this data needs to be somewhat accessible for the creators, because without these numbers, we are basically, kind of clueless to where we're going to. I mean, apart from the reposts you get, the number of likes you get on TikTok, Instagram, X, this number somewhat doesn't, uh, measure up to the confidence that we can get, to even, in fact, to what we can reply to the client. So
I
I think this,
agree.
yeah, we need to, encourage like platforms to be at least give this
Yeah.
ability to creators.
I'll say Horizon has a decent amount of analytics. They don't go quite as deep as the ones you were just saying, but they do let you know like how long and stuff like that. VR chat, I'm not sure how far they go. Or I know you can see like how many visits you got at least and like how many people favorite it. But I'm not sure if they have anything any deeper than that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It would that would help. The Instagram and stuff like that, I think helps a lot as far as attracting the new users because kind of Cece said something I wanted to piggyback off or that it kind of related to, but yeah, attracting the new users and then yeah, getting out of this selling the sellers thing where we're only really promoting to people who are already here doing the same thing that we do. But I think it takes a different type of promotion and content and stuff like that to kind of relate to the outside world for them to be interested in what we're doing because it's very difficult. I know you guys know to explain like what we're even doing here in this space.
In Horizons, in terms of scriptable objects, in terms of gamification, how's it going over there? How do you script your interactions and gameplay?
Oh, it's amazing. I'll be honest. Building in Horizon and then going into Unity, it's pretty much the same thing. It's kind of like the Roblox situation, how you guys were saying, where it's like a Lego thing, but it's more so just it's the same thing. Add 3D object, add a cube. You got to go into a menu, add a cube, and you do the same thing. And then they have a scripting section where the scripting is pretty much ran the exact same way as how we do it in the script graph. It kind of was like refreshing, like holy shit, this is the same thing. And I had kind of learned how to script in Horizon. So jumping from Unity to Horizon or from Horizon to Unity is actually pretty fucking smooth.
Wow, that's amazing to know. I can't say that we will ever look at Horizon here because it's not even available to us. Oh, no, it's simply not available to
Yeah, yeah.
us. No,
I
it's
well,
only available for Europe and USA.
oh fuck, that's right. That's
So
fucking
we
sucks.
can't ever go to Horizons and join you guys. But I'm so down. I mean, the time zone is also pretty fucked up on our side. So
Yeah,
so yeah, we're really looking forward to hang out with you guys in VR chat. I know we did hang out on Spatial with Presby and Harley, and it was really good. Like we traveled across few worlds. We show each
yeah.
other our
That was
stuff,
super
but
fun. Yeah,
we really look we're really looking forward to encounter you guys and with full body tracking experience and stuff
Hell
like
yeah.
that. Meet you for real, look you in the eyes, and yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. I know, right? It's amazing.
So one of the main purposes of this space is to people usually stay in their own bubbles, and were thinking always that we really have to look around with eyes open and see what everyone is doing in the metaverse, because at the end of the day, metaverse is not going to be one platform, that's for sure. And looking around and seeing what's going on in, like, on every gaming platform is super important. I mean, the cross-pollination, even if you don't build in VR chat or whatever, you don't build on Horizons, you build only on spatial, going to VR chat and picking up those ideas. I mean, Josh and me, we went to this flight simulator in VR chat, and we were like, what the hell, this is so cool. And we literally rip off all the controls they did for their VR chat jets, and we did the same for our jet and spatial. We just went and we looked how people do stuff and learn. And learning is super important. Sometimes it gives you ideas you never ever thought about. And we're going to Roblox just to see how people do all these memes, and how it is attracting so much users, why it is so funny, why it's so easy to make dope content in Roblox. So we tried in the past also apply those experiences in spatial, but it didn't work out so much because we don't have the same type of audience, and the people sometimes just don't get memes and stuff. But we did try that, and we're trying a lot of other things here and there. But having this opportunity to go to all platforms and learn, even if you're gonna apply to one platform only, I mean, I think this is super important, right, Josh?
Yeah, totally. And like you said, even if you're not a builder necessarily, just to go in and be inspired, because sometimes when you're stuck in one platform, you can kind of get down. Where is everybody? Everything looks the same type of thing. So, like you said, we went to the Jets and we got super inspired, and Barney on's cars as well. Presspan and Harles. I don't know if you guys have seen that car, man. It's
Bruh,
nuts.
yes.
It's super nuts.
Barnian is a
Yes.
VR chat car, ultimate car
Dude.
creator. The best VR cars I've ever experienced was his cars. You can open the door, you can sit in the car, you
Oh my
can switch
God.
your gear with your
You
with
can
your own
shift it.
hands. And
Yes.
wait, I'm gonna drop the bomb here. You can press the pedals in the car with your feet with full
Oh,
body
with the
tracking.
oh, see, I
What?
haven't done it yet. I haven't done that in full body yet. Oh, we're doing that tonight.
Yeah, man, and you feel the rumble in the controllers because you got to like hold on to the steering wheel, right, or you can't turn. So
Yep.
it's like full force feedback, even without body tracking, because I don't have that yet. But
I
man,
just got it.
it's great.
Dude, so
What's
all right, so are you guys trying to figure out how to do the cars in VR chat though?
Yes, and of course in spatial, and
Yes.
how do we bring some of that stuff backwards? Yeah.
That's why you guys are like the greatest to ever do it in life.
Well, we don't only have plan to have this cross pollination opportunity. We are actually building for VR chat as well right now. I mean, we started a bit late because we were so caught up in spatial for a while. Like it's been a year now, and we always position ourselves as a cross platform. We're doing augmented reality, virtual reality, and finally we got a time to go back to VR chat. And oh boy, how did it change over 1.5 years?
For sure, for sure. I mean, the inspiration alone, even if you just do avatars, if you go into a club and you start seeing some of the different avatars, which you'll probably have to turn it down and turn on calling, and at least for until the Quest 3, with that extra memory. But yeah, just to get inspired, like, oh, how are they doing that? And that curiosity, Even if you are building in spatial only, that curiosity to know that stuff, you'll figure it out. You know what I mean? And it's important to be curious, because once you've hit the ceiling or hit the wall or whatnot, like, unfortunately we have kind of in spatial. So, how can we bring that stuff from one platform to another is definitely something that I'm definitely interested in.
And I can speak to that creativity, man, even further, or the curiosity even further. Like, I came into this space, I wasn't a builder. Like, I do music, and I got in Horizon for, like, I had no plans of doing any of this, and it was just curiosity. Like, oh wait, people are making these things. Like, I want to make something. Like, and it just starts there, and you start, like Josh said, you start seeing stuff, and it's like, oh, let me just try it,
Well, we're
and here
going
we
for more
are.
than 2 hours, Josh.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. I mean, we do want to go ahead and wrap up probably, but this is why we're doing this thing, to get us all together in the same space. We recognize that when we go into other spaces, there's not a whole lot of people talking about building shit. And for builders, that's disappointing. So we're hoping to kind of fill that gap with it, and we're going to keep growing and doing this every week, and hopefully getting better and better. So, I definitely appreciate everybody coming out, and all the retweets and all the likes and shit. Really appreciate that, guys. So, but we'll go ahead and kick off for tonight. And look for us again next week, and hopefully we have a great subject to talk about. And everybody's welcome to come back, and anybody that would ever like to speak, this is a totally open forum. Don't be embarrassed about anything. You don't have to be a builder. Your input is valued. So.
Well, and one thing that would be very interesting to hear is from non-builders as well, because as builders, we would like to hear what can we build of a value to people who want to do the content, who want to be whoever they want to be in the metaverse, and we are here to provide with this value. And it's just great to hear from those people as well.
Absolutely, 100%. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and kick off. But thanks again for everybody coming up, and we'll see you again next week. Have a
Thanks
great
for
one.
having us, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thanks for having us, guys.
Guys, great
really
to
appreciate it.
hear from all of
Bye.
you.